A lot of people have been asking me, how do we paint TrueFire? With the TrueFire effect, there's a couple different ways you can do it. There are people that do it with acrylics. I've never had very good luck with it, so I'm going to show you the method with Spastix hard anno paints. The biggest thing with TrueFire is making sure you make your pattern random. For that, I recommend several different types of rounded shields, curves, stuff that look like it, has drips in it, such as this. You can see that we have several different shields here. They have nice flowing curves to them. Some that just are simply rounded, look kind of like the negative side of a drip, or even the positive side. Some have really long running edges on them. Some are really short. And some just have a ton of different drips, different sizes, different angles. The trick is to use them all and use them in a different manner from left to right to show both sides of the flame. So with that, we're going to lay down our first color. We're going to do a traditional TrueFire here. So we'll start out with candy. We'll start out with the hard anno yellow. Then we're going to build that. Then we'll go with the hard anno orange, and we'll lastly do the hard anno candy apple red. And again, all FlameLex will be done with the Spastix solid white. So sit back, and I'm going to lay down some hard anno yellow here real quick, and come back and we'll talk about laying in the FlameLex. When spraying in the yellow, keep it nice and even. Cover the entire area that you want to have yellow in. Just kind of work from side to side. Try not to lay the layer too thick because you want it to remain nice and clear. Give it a little time to dry. On the lacquers, they dry fairly quickly, so you can build the layer up pretty quick. Now you'll notice I'm going about halfway up the plexiglass. This will give us a nice yellow. We're going to lay it in different areas. So I'm just trying to build up the entire area where the yellow is going to be at for us. Now if I want some yellow not only down in this area here, but say I want little streaks shooting off way up here at the top, spray in that area. Anywhere you want the yellow to appear, make sure it's covered. Make sure you spray in the hard anno yellow. Okay, now that we have our white in our cup, we're ready to go. Basically what we want to do is we want to start spraying the outside edge of the frame leg. Now this can be basically any way you want to spray it. I'm just going to grab numerous different shields. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start spraying the right edge of a flame here. And there you can see the edge of the flame. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray this side of the flame to actually close this edge of the flame and make one flame in here. You'll notice on this one I sprayed the inside edge. I'm going to change shields here, and I'm going to spray the inside edge of the shield here as well. That way it'll close off this flame. Now we have an edge, a left and a right side to the flame. That might make it a little easier to see. Here's the left side of our flame, here's the right side of our flame. But you'll notice the center is pretty void of color. We can fix that pretty easily. If you want the center to have more color, simply do a bottom to the flame. Now our flame has more color. Maybe you want the flame to come off of the edge, that look like it's going across. You want a hot spot, so we're going to add a lot of white right on the edge here. So now we have a hot spot. Now that we have a highlighted edge, we can kind of expand on this a little bit. We can build our flame to follow around the original one. We can build it to come back through the original one. Again, it's just kind of a random pattern. You can do as you see fit. I'm going to kind of build it where it comes down and ties back into the tip down in here and gives us a kind of a dual layer on the flame. But I'm going to leave the top of it open so I can build on this part of the flame a little more. There's our second edge of the flame. Now again, it's kind of open in the center, so we need to do something a little bit here to kind of dress up the end of the flame out towards the tip of it. Now this is where your random drips, drops, whatever you want to call it, your extra shields come in handy, kind of help you build up that flame a little bit. And you can see that it's come down in here. I'm going to play on that a little bit. I'm going to drag that on back around. So now we have another highlight here. And I can bring that in, tie that into the original flame. Now when doing multi-layered flames, your base color, you don't need a lot of these flames. You just need a few because you don't want it to be too dominant. Otherwise it's going to look like your flame is not realistic, because your base color usually isn't as dominant as what the rest of the flame is. I'll just kind of run this one up. Also, when I'm spraying, you'll notice I'm not spraying real heavy. I'm spraying a fairly fine mist and trying to stay right on the edge of the flame, or right on the edge of the stencil, to make the flame appear more thin, if you will, at this point. And then as the flame actually grows, I will move the shield in or out to widen the flame or to close it off. And some of this is just by feel. You kind of set your shield in here, you see what you like, what you don't like. But basically there's a right and a left edge to every flame. Now we've kind of got it rolling over itself here. We had a little bit of yellow up here at the top we wanted to do something with, so And this doesn't all have to be shield work either. You can also do a lot of freehand. Like right here, we'll just put in a little ember here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lay the edge to the ember right on the edge of the shield. And now what I'll do is I'll come back in, kind of feather it out a little bit so it looks like it's glowing around the edge of it. I don't like how open this is down here, so I'm going to bring this back on itself a little bit. And there's our base yellow flames. I'll be back in a second. I'm going to spray some orange, show you how we work the orange in to make the second layer of our flames. I don't know how well you can see this, but there's actually still some yellow in my cup here. When spraying flames, there's nothing wrong with taking your next color and pouring it right in on top of what you previously had. Well, what this will do is it's going to start spraying a little bit of the yellow first, and then the orange is going to mix in with it slightly, and it's actually going to help us bring our flames together. Now when you spray your flames, your second color, you want to spray again all areas where you want the orange to appear. However, I do recommend that you do not spray over these areas right here at the base of your flames. Kind of leave a little bit of it unsprayed. What this will do is this will make that yellow a lot more dominant. There's going to be a certain amount of the orange that's going to bleed through the yellow and actually change the color of our flame slightly from that yellow that we had to an orange color. So by doing this, by leaving that open at the bottom, those flames are going to be a nice solid yellow there. Then everything else out here on the edge is going to be an orange. Get a little more paint here. Again, don't spray your layers this thick. I'm just trying to get through this so I don't have a hour-long video. I'm trying to edit down to 10 minutes, and then you don't get to see a lot of the stuff that actually occurs when building flames. We're going to take the orange up a little bit higher because your flames, if you look at a real fire, your yellow is going to be down here on the bottom, your orange will grow, and then the tips of it are going to be more red, and you'll have little licks of yellow and orange jumping up through the red at different points.